Questions about President Muhammadu Buhari's educational qualifications may continue to plague him even long after he leaves office. The questions range from the existence of his West African examination certificate WAEC to the authenticity of that which had been presented to him by the exam body and that presented as evidence at the Election Petition Tribunal, Abuja. His educational qualification first came into question in 2014 when he was running for his first tenure against then-incumbent Goodluck Jonathan.
21st of January 2014, the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, General Muhammadu Buhari, addressed a press conference where he attempted to explain the series of controversies surrounding his academic qualifications, especially the secondary school certificate. Again, the APC candidate, rather than provide a conclusive proof that he possesses this minimum qualification, went into a session of blame game and shifting of what ordinarily ought to be his personal responsibility, as he said, and I quote, "I have formally requested my old school, Provisional Secondary School Katsina, which is now known as Government College Katsina, to make available the school's copy of the result of the Cambridge West African School Certificate," end of quote. It is unfortunate that the more General Buhari tries to extricate himself from the crisis, the more he stumbles into a new phase in the unfolding narrative of his obvious complicity in a matter that borders on perjury and which has called his avowed integrity to question.
Fast forward 4 years, President Buhari's certificate is still being called into question as he contested a second tenure in office.
Because President Buhari himself is not indigenously a Nigerian. President Buhari is from Maradi. Maradi only happened to be culturally part of the Daura Emirate, from Maradi, Zinda to Agadez. So most of them who are born in Niger also crossed over. That's why Buhari had not been able to place a single school he attended that is captured in Nigeria.
President Buhari and the ruling All Progressive Congress APC have continued to dispel allegations that he lacked the educational qualifications to occupy the #1 seat in the country.
During our time, it's very, very difficult, to commit that type of fraud. I didn't say it's impossible, but it's very, very difficult. And you can't join the officer corps training as in the military, that is Army, Navy, Air Force, and even the police to become inspectors, unless you have a school certificate. And basically with maths and English, or you take the professional exam and pass in maths and English there, and geography. So I thank you very much for trying to salvage the integrity of your institution. But I'm telling you, I am so fed up with this that when I saw it, I have to be persuaded, to come to go through it all over again.
Honestly, it's preposterous for anybody to believe or to think that a person who has risen to the level of a general in the Nigerian army does not possess a primary school leaving certificate. You see, there should be limit to politicking.
The case of Buhari's certificate got more intriguing after the Nigerian army, whom the president had earlier claimed was in possession of his certificate, refuted this. In 2015, the director of Army Public Relations, Olajide Laleye, said the army did not have the original certified true copy or statements of results of General Muhammadu Buhari. Nigeria's electoral umpire, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), which has been caught in the crosshairs of the certificate saga in October 2018, attempted to exonerate itself from any wrongdoing.
Somebody asked that the certificates of one of the candidates is with the military. Are you asking for confirmation whether the certificate is with the military? Because another person asked whether there are candidates in similar situations whose certificates are with the military. Well, we have pasted yesterday the form CF001 in all the constituencies for all candidates nominated by their political parties. We have made this so open. Just go to the constituencies, you will see what is published.
Council, on their part, tried to corroborate President Buhari's accounts about his certificate by issuing him one at Aso Rock in November 2018. This, however, did nothing to stop the back and forth on the matter, especially when then APC presidential campaign spokesperson Festus Keyamo tweeted in April 2019 that Buhari did not need WAEC certificate to emerge president.
That's the position of the law. School certificate or its equivalent. Then our constitution in one of its schedules defines what an equivalent of a school certificate means. 10 years in the public service is considered as an equivalent of a school certificate. Attendance of seminars and conferences is also considered as an equivalent to a school certificate.
Well, I'm assuming that Festus Keyamo is citing 1999 Constitution as amended, and he must be referencing Section 131, which is very unambiguous on what the requirements to be eligible to be president of Nigeria. And one of the things that I've seen there is that he must possess the school certificate or its equivalent. There is no ambiguity there. You know, I've read through that Section 131 very well, with clarity of thought. And Festus Keyamo is not talking law, with due respect to him.
All right, so let's talk about this equivalent, as he has stated. Either you have been in public service for 10 years, or you have attended seminar or some other equivalent. Is that where this division is? Because it has said you need it, or if you don't have it, then this is the equivalent. Is that where your grouse is?
Well, if the Supreme Court at the end of the day want to interpret that, I want to see the APC or President Muhammadu Buhari's counsel to see that he doesn't have it and begin to tell us that he has his equivalent. Let's take it up from there. Let's even get to the point where he says he doesn't have it. Then we'll take it up from there.
But you see, that's the interesting thing. That is why we're having this conversation, because some people are asking, why is Festus Keyamo even making this conversation? Because the president has said he does have the WAEC certificate. Precisely. And that which he presented has been certified by the authorities as being, authentic. So why did he even need to weigh in on this conversation in the first place and start this controversy? Yes, we know about what's going on with Adeleke in Osun State, but did he need to get involved and even bring the president into this matter? Max Oga.
No, that question should be for Mr. Keyamo himself.
The authenticity of President Buhari's qualifications is one of the major grouses of the Atiku PDP camp at the Election Petition Tribunal. While they challenge the results of the polls that led to the re-election of the president, they insist Buhari did not even qualify educationally to run for the polls. It may be to their advantage that the Buhari legal team fielded a witness 2019 denied assigning the Cambridge University moderated examination certificates tendered as exhibits before the tribunal in Abuja. Will this discrepancy affect the overall outcome at the tribunal? We'll have to wait for the verdict at the end of the tribunal hearings. But the major question is, as a Nigerian, do you really care about the authenticity of President Buhari's WAEC certificate? Do you think it matters to good governance? Share your thoughts on the comment section of all our social media platforms.